Hello everyone, I'm Hanks and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm not using any mods or anything, just doing vanilla as Denmark. Denmark got content the last major expansion. They won't be the newest once, Trial of Allegiance comes out. But either way, their focus tree is really good and it's one of my favorites. In the beginning, the things I'm gonna have to fix is that Denmark not prepared for anything. They wouldn't even be prepared to deal with graffiti, let alone fighting a world war. So that's our major concern. But before we can even do that, we're going to have to declare neutrality, which isn't really fun in a war game. At least we have one thing going for us. Iceland is staying a part of us. If they decide to try to break away, they wouldn't last long. We could just declare war on them immediately. But it's more of an inconvenience having to move soldiers all the way to the Faroe, then invade them and all that. So, I'm just happy we don't have to do that, and we get to integrate them and get cores on them peacefully without having to kill anybody. But usually they don't have an army to kill, so it's finally time we decide which way politically is our country going to go. And when it comes to Denmark, there's only one correct path. If you say otherwise, you're wrong. And that's with the king. Because with the king, we can secure Sweden, Norway, integrate Iceland, and take Finland. And once we do all that, we have all the land needed to unite the Nordic countries, which is what I want to do. Or at the very least, secure the Kalmar Union. This is why I love non-historical, because in reality, the Germans would be trying to kill me as Denmark later, but now their country's imploding, so I don't have to deal with them, and I can become the world power in Central Europe. One thing I would recommend is encourage the paramilitary organizations. It gives you a good amount of extra soldiers, which will be useful when you're fighting against the Norwegians. Because, well, at the beginning of the game, you only have 5 divisions, and they're not the best at all. It's finally time that I can overthrow the government. I could have done this earlier, but I was focusing more on the economy, which apparently is important in this game. But no one told me that when I bought it. But hey, so for the king, overthrow the government, we need 30% support for non-aligned, which we almost have. And we're just going to try to go straight down towards Scandinavian security. The only thing about this is I need way more people in my army. But thanks to focuses over here, I now am at limited conscription, so that won't be too much of an issue. The only thing holding me back is the fact that we have no guns. The only thing I don't like about this path is that to get Sweden and Norway, you need at least 20% roll tension. In a historical game, that's fine. But since I'm playing ahistorical, we can't really predict when that's going to happen because we don't know what's going to happen, and Germany isn't going crazy yet. But in the meantime, that doesn't mean we can't expand. We can still annex Iceland and core it. I'm not sure if it has any resources though, but hey, it's better than nothing, you know. It may have taken 2 years, but I finally have an ally in this world, and it's Finland. The thing is, the Soviet Union didn't collapse, so they can get a war goal against Finland. So you can actually make Finland your puppet. I may not do that just in case the Soviets attack, because I'm not nowhere near good enough to fight off the Soviets. Maybe one day, but that day is not today. And as soon as about to puppet Finland, they leave the faction. I don't think I can do it to them anymore. Well, this isn't the end of the world. I could still invade them, and hopefully the Soviet Union will just get their land from Finland because they give it up. so that I can actually still form the Nordic League, which will give me cores on Norway, Sweden, and Finland, so I can eventually go to war against the German Empire. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen, but if I believe I can fight them, I will. Especially since the United Kingdom is going fascist, and fascist United Kingdom gets a war goal against the German Empire. So I'm just waiting for that to pop off. Well, it looks like I finally have enough world tension to now do my thing, because the British just entered a civil war, won it, annexed everything, and that brought world tension up from like 17 all the way to 87%. Them doing that single-handedly just may have brought about a world war in the future. But hey, doesn't matter for me because it's going to help me. So, And our first target, our very first way we can expand, Norway. Usually they're the weakest of the two between Norway and Sweden. But they've had so long to build up, so I can only hope that they're still weak. First war. Let's see what happens. I've had this naval invasion prepared for like 2 years, because that's how long it took for this war to even be able to be declared. And it's the same strategy every time. Just go from Jylland to Oslo. They never have anyone really defending their capital city. Also look, our capital city changes to the name of our king. And once you land, you can just move all your soldiers in, conquer everything down here, and that pretty much guarantees you win. Why do the Germans have a collab government with the Norwegians? That's just something so random. Like, the thing about non-historical, it never makes sense. So you're just gonna see stuff like Germany having a collab government on Norway, even though they don't have any way of declaring war on Norway since they're not fascist. It could be worse. Norway could be joining the Allies. Oh yeah, the Allies don't exist. Never mind. Norway's almost done. So I'm probably going to start to secure Swedish steel, so I can start my invasion of Sweden as soon as possible. But just in case they start to get guaranteed by anyone, I'm just going to put a little save file. Which is one of the main reasons I don't play Iron Man, because I like to use save files. And I don't want to get the achievements in this game. There's too many, and they're way too difficult. Mostly because the developers want to make pretty much all of them a pun. And so for all of them, you have to do a world conquest. It's like Turkey or something. Norway's dead. We get all their stuff, and you can just annex them. You don't get cores immediately, but you will get cores really soon in the future. This is the closest thing I ever am to tactical in this game. So I have 5 divisions going up here, 5 divisions going right here, and the rest piercing, trying to cross the strait. And hopefully, if all these land, I'll be able to easily get to mainland Sweden. It looks like they probably have around the same amount, but they could have a little more. That's why I'm abandoning Norway. The Swedish can just start marching through there while I take their country. Especially since Norway isn't cores of us yet, and we don't get much from holding it, it's no really reason to defend it, So I think this will go pretty well. Hopefully, probably. I just realized there's no democratic factions left in the world. That means I can declare war on democratic countries, and there's no way for anyone to guarantee their independence. Yes, that. So that means I can also declare war on Finland with the focus I have right here, and I can still form that country I wanted to form, the Northern League. I think things are turning out better than I thought. And with a few naval invasions to Gotland and some northern places, Sweden is completely defeated. I get their land and their navy, and there's only one more country that stands in our way of forming the Nordic League: Finland. Now, their army isn't as strong as ours. Their navy probably isn't as strong as ours either. So I'm just going to cancel this focus and go do secure our eastern front. Now, if Finland stayed in the faction and let me puppet them, I wouldn't have to do all this. But they decided to go democratic and break away, so now there has to be a war. It's their fault, not mine. Ooh, it looks like I can get the German Empire into my faction. Now, they would definitely take over the faction, but there's a chance I could get the Baltics, and if I get the Baltics, I'll be able to... Oh, wait, won't... Never mind. For some reason, Paradox made it so you can only form one of these countries and not multiple. Back when the DLC first released, you could do Kalmar Union, then Nordic, then one of these, but you can only do one. So, yeah, sorry Germany, you are by yourself. Also, the German Empire is not going to win this probably. They're outnumbered and haven't had a good enough chance to build up anything. It was good while it's lasted, I guess, which wasn't long. Alright, the plans have been made for our last war to unify the Nordics. The German Empire... The Germans have decided to guarantee the independence of Finland. They're not even democratic. But if I can invite them to the faction, then I can declare war on Finland and just not join the German war, and boom, they can't do anything about it. What I'm doing is called top-notch diplomacy. They should make me president or something. And it looks like it's already too late for the Finns, because we have just gotten a port and flooding in our entire army. I'm just really happy that all democratic factions just happen to either not appear or fall apart, because there's no one to stop me. It's always great when that happens. Yeah, the World War finally started, 1940, and it doesn't make sense, especially since the Kingdom of France joined the communists instead of the communist French joining the communists. I'm just gonna say, looking up here in the north, because the rest of the world does not make sense. The last obstacle was defeated, and they were way easier than Sweden. For Sweden, I had to do multiple naval invasions. I had to do so many encirclements. I basically had to micro, even though I don't really know how to micro. But in the end, it was worth it, because I have united the Nordic League. Unification of the Nordics, all that, and I have cores on everything. So it looks like the people I've conquered want to be a part of my country. So can you really call it imperialism after that? Well, anyway, it's not imperialism. Anyway, this is it. I win. I could go down to the Germans, but I don't want to deal with that. I don't think I could beat the Germans or the Soviets. So I guess that just means I have to get more practice. And the British are losing to the Irish. Yeah, this makes no sense, this world, so I'm leaving it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any ideas, comment them. So, yeah, see ya.